Until his last minute in office, Andrew Cuomo left as Andrew Cuomo was, headstrong and determined to make a point. And on Monday, that point was clear. In his final words to New Yorkers, Cuomo claimed again, without evidence, that he was forced out by his political enemies and that he's been smeared by false claims. This time, he took another shot at the state attorney general's office, which found several claims of sexual harassment made against him to be credible this month.
A firecracker can start a stampede. The attorney general's report was designed to be a political firecracker on an explosive topic, and it worked.
But now, New York turns to a new chapter with now Governor Kathy Hochul. New York's 57th governor and the first woman to serve in the role was sworn in Tuesday and immediately sought to strike a different tone than Cuomo. When asked what she wanted to do with her time in office, Hochul said public trust would come first.
I want people to believe in their government again. It's important to me that people have faith. Our strength comes from the faith and the confidence of the people who put us in these offices, and I take that very seriously.
But in the short term, Hochul said she would address top issues facing New Yorkers head on, starting with the coronavirus. The Delta variant has bumped New York's COVID-19 positivity rate to levels not seen since April. And with no sign of that stopping, Hochul said later Tuesday that she would focus on vaccination rates and how to push them higher.
None of us want a rerun of last year's horrors with COVID-19. Therefore, we will take proactive steps to prevent that from happening.
Hochul said she'd also break the logjam of federal COVID relief funds, like money promised to tenants and families in need. But aside from the pandemic, Hochul's first day in office was spent boosting state policies on ethics and sexual harassment in a callback to Cuomo's downfall. Now, all state workers will undergo ethics training, and annual sexual harassment trainings will be done in person to prevent workers from skipping through it online.
And a new era of transparency will be one of my hallmarks of my administration. To me, it's very simple. We'll focus on open, ethical governing that New Yorkers will trust.
And so far, leaders from the state legislature are on board with those plans. Hochul met privately this week with Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins and Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie for the first time since taking office. Both had a tense relationship with Cuomo, who was notorious for backroom deals and horse trading in Albany. And for them, this is an opportunity to start fresh. Senate Majority Leader Stewart-Cousins.
Well, it feels good. It's a sense of, whatever has to be done, we will do in order to make the lives of New Yorkers better. And that's always good.
And in something new to Albany, women hold the cards. Top issues in New York are usually negotiated behind closed doors between the governor, the Senate Majority Leader, and the Speaker of the State Assembly. And until 2 years ago, that was always 3 men, also known in Albany speak as 3 men in a room. Now, it's 2 women in a room with 1 man, Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie. And he said for him, that's a good thing.
Well, I'll say this is probably the happiest time for me to be in the minority. So, and I just think it's a wonderful opportunity. I think any time that a glass ceiling has been broken, I think is good for all of us. I think it's good for us as a country, as a state, as a people.
And even Republicans are optimistic about this new era in Albany, but aren't sold just yet. State Senator Jim Tedisco was elected more than 3 decades ago, so he's been through a lot of governors. And while he likes this one better than the last, he says Republicans will be watching Hochul to see how she handles things like the economy and the rising cost of living.
We want her to be successful, want to help her be successful, but we got to call her out if she's not doing those things, which are going to make upstate and the entire state a better place to live, work, send your kids to school, and stay here.
But that could all change after a few months in office. The big test will come next year when Hochul lays out her plan for the state budget in January. Under Governor Cuomo, the budget process was always a tense time. He was known to strong-arm lawmakers to get what he wanted. But Governor Hochul could play things differently, and that might be to her benefit. Mark Ustin is a longtime Albany lobbyist who served in the Pataki administration.
One could argue that means she is going to advance an executive budget that is more attractive to some of her potential political allies. I think you could argue exactly the opposite, that in fact, she's going to come in like every other governor did, But then maybe when it comes time to finalize the budget, you'll see a level of deal making that would be beneficial.
Hochul will have the next 4 months to prepare for that moment. And when it comes, the legislature will be watching.